Hey everybody, welcome back. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us. Something a little bit different today. Going to take a look around the latest in Team Associated's RC10 re-release series. One that's a bit more special to me. Okay, this is the RC10 Graphite. I know what you're thinking. Not another RC10 re-release. This one to me means a bit more. This was my first hobby grade kit back in the early 90s, but I think I was a third owner of it whenever I got it originally. And although I never raced the car, it did hundreds of hours around my dad's house. Yeah, and I learned a lot from it. So obviously, this was before this was announced and released. I was chasing a period one, but yeah, whenever these were announced as a re-release, there was nothing gonna stop me from getting one. Like I say, they were a fairly short production run because of when they came out, and at the time, I mean, I know now we get carbon fiber everything with the hobby, but I mean back in the early 90s, whenever this was released, carbon fiber and graphite was a space age material. I mean, Formula One only started using carbon fiber in the mid 80s as a primary chassis material. I mean, they were used for bits and pieces before that, but it was, whenever this first came out, carbon fiber was what they used in spaceships and racing cars and nothing else. So obviously with that in mind, these were fairly special. They had a short life because obviously not long after this was released to the public, we had the stealth car came out for the Worlds, which is the next associated release, which I mean are the two big ones that I wanted, and both coming out one after another. So that's expensive, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's get this cracked open and get a look at what's inside it. It's always slightly nervous, no matter how many times I've done this. Cracking the seal is always a little bit different. My kits come through with a misprint on the box. It's ignored some of the metallic writing off the graphite. So I wonder, is it like that stamp that was the plane was printed upside down on that's worth a fortune now? Probably not. Anyway, let's open. I mean, obviously, so much of this is going to be exactly the same as all the other associated RC10 re-releases that we've seen. I've built a couple. What I'm curious about, as much as anything else, is the differences between this and the car that I had in the 90s. This should be in much better condition to start with. Okie dokie. First things first, one piece ivory wheels, big aggressive spiked rear tires as well. Let's get those out of the way. Ready to report. Gold anodized shocks, typical of the modern construction. Now, I seem to remember back whenever my car, it had the earlier shocks which loaded in from the bottom. These are the modern interpretation which load in through the top, same as the current Teflon shocks. One thing that does take a little bit of getting used to, and it's a love it or hate it thing. A 6-gear transmission in the car, which is always a little bit bittersweet. It's how the car came originally. I ended up running my graphite at the time with a I got a stealth gearbox out of a team car and popped it in instead, because the 6th gear was always just not as efficient, not as clever a gearbox. But it does the job, and it's right that it's in this, simply because it's how the car was produced and sold at the time. One thing that has caught my attention is bearings all throughout. Again, I don't know if it was my car back, because it was on its 3rd owner by the time I got it, and again, I was 12 or 13. My car had oil light bushings on it, and this is obviously fully ball raced, which is a little bit different, and let's not complain about that. Further on, all the white nylon bits and pieces that we're so used to, that's actually quite a funny colour. Almost a green tinge to it. It'll not make a button of difference. Fiberglass shock towers and everything else. It's just as the car would have been built back when I was a lad. Servo mounts and all the rest of it. Now that was upgraded on my car back in the day. Yeah, that old. I can't imagine me building the car with that. That'll get thrown away somewhere. That Z bend tie rod for the servo. I'll find its way into a bin somewhere. Again, nice thing. The car now comes with turnbuckles. The original car, again, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a comments section below just for this. My car had threaded bar and it didn't have turnbuckles. Again, this might be because I didn't build it from new, but it would be, in my mind, right for the time. Turnbuckles were always one of the first things you had to buy for a car, whenever they weren't included. Yeah, that silly initial servo saver and everything else. The battery strap that I remember well, and everything else. The motor guard my car didn't have. I remember somebody else saying to me, I think it was my mate Paul, was saying to me that that was an optional extra at the time and wasn't included in the kit, but was an extra to go on. Mine definitely didn't have that back in the day, so that's new to me. Oh, my tool bag. Rear suspension. Okay, lovely to see it actually has proper universal joint drive shafts in it now. I have a notion, I remember upgrading mine to CVDs. I can't remember if it had universal joints or just dog bones in previously. Oh, different hardware. Hex drive hardware into the rear suspension mounts, because that on my car was the gold colored screws. Okay, I think rear bulkhead, rear shock tower. Again, hex hardware. Whereas if I go back to the front suspension, yes, hex hardware going to the front suspension as well. Okay, not strictly accurate, but much better, much better. Those Phillips head screws were absolutely fine for what they were, but as time's gone on, I'm glad to see the back of them. Yep, Viper body shell and wing, and the driver. I painted my first driver for a customer a couple of weeks ago, and actually, hate to admit it, quite liked it. So yeah, I think I'll probably end up with a driver in this as well. Again, this I don't ever intend to run this, So it's going to get mounted to the wall beside my Predator and go from there. And then this is obviously the big and important bit in it. It's nice to see it comes packaged actually like that, because obviously the graphite chassis is such a big part of this kit. I dare say expensive to replace. My goodness, that's a chunk of carbon. That is a fair chunk of carbon. Originally, the associated logo was milled into them. It wasn't screen printed like this is now, although that is lovely. And yeah. Again, if you're going to run it, run some light super glue around the edges of this just to try and keep everything laminated. Mine was chipped to death all at the front here. But yeah, I'd forgotten how thick that chassis was. Wow. Well, you're used to, I mean, current touring cars are like 2 and 2.5 mil chassis. But yeah, that's a taut bit of kit. But that is a beautiful bit of carbon. Yeah, started off a bit of a fascination with carbon with me actually. Ended up everything I could have gotten carbon was carbon at the time. But yeah, beautiful. Okay, and in the rest of the box, instructions, decal sheet. So you only need to paint the body shell baby blue if you want the box top replica. They're cut as well there, which is lovely, which is something I've not seen Associated do before. And yeah, that's about it. Everything, I mean, without opening that, I'm going to assume the instructions are the same as every other Associated kit and excellent. Put that back in there for the time being, see if it's getting marked. And yeah, that gives you an idea of what's in the kit, what's different between this and the original car back in the 90s. And yeah, next time you'll see it, it'll be a rolling chassis. And now I need to decide whether I'm going to go box art with it or paint it up like my car was in the 90s, or paint it up in a version of my current colours. But yeah, keep in touch, go from there. If you take 2 minutes, if you've watched this and enjoyed it, really appreciate hitting the subscribe button. It helps me know what I'm doing right. Drop a link down below, and or drop a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one, which, as far as unboxing goes, will be a stealth car. Thanks now. See you soon.
Subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for more videos.